Welcome back to The Big Picture. We have a very special guest with us right now. Joining us, we have LeRon Clayton. You're with the Volunteers of America, and you drove all the way down from Cleveland today?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making the trek.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about you and how you got involved with Volunteers of America.
Yeah, so my career in social services started in public health, actually. And when I was an undergrad, I said I wanted to work for two populations, either individuals living with or affected by HIV and AIDS or a veteran population. I'm also a veteran myself. I served in the military for 10 years while I was getting my undergrad degree and as well as my graduate degree. And this opportunity came on, and what better way to be of service to my brothers and sisters?
I love how you guys say that having a home is healthcare.
Absolutely.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so, when veterans are coming to us, they're coming to us with a multitude of issues, and life has happened to them, and some of them have hit the proverbial rock bottom. And so when we're thinking about mental illness, substance use disorder, all of the things that can happen to an individual throughout their life, especially when we consider about the stress and everything that comes with unemployment and homelessness. So having a house gives you the stability, whether you're starting your recovery journey, if it's rebuilding your life, looking for employment, or even sometimes reunifying families.
Well, thank you for your service also,
Yeah,
first of all.
Yeah.
How exactly, how do you think the work that you guys do has evolved over the years? Because what a veteran looks like, I think, has drastically changed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And as an organization, we continue to be responsive to the needs of the various communities that we work in. How it has changed for us, you think about the economy, you think about rent and coming out of the pandemic, the increase in rent. And so a lot of the services that we offer, we are very veteran-centered, and so it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. And so when the veteran comes to us, whatever their needs are, if it's homelessness prevention, if they've fallen behind on their rent, we're able to assist them with that. If it's just them needing a little push to get back on their feet, or if they need some long-term assistance, we're able to provide that as well. And so whatever's happening in the atmosphere, whether it's employment, the aging veteran population, we're able to provide those supportive services for them.
What specifically are you doing here in Central Ohio in Columbus to help this population of veterans?
Yeah, so here we have our Veterans Resource Center, and it's just that, so we provide a variety of services for individuals there. It's categorized as a healthcare for homeless transitional housing program. But while veterans are there, we essentially wrap services around them to get them back on their feet. So if they are experiencing homelessness, we will help them find stable housing. We also have a workforce development program through the Department of Labor where we will help them find employment if that's what they seek as well, and working with them along that way so we don't just get them a job and drop them off. We continue to work with them to make sure that retention is that they're retaining their employment and that they're able to find stability.
Yeah, that follow-up
That
is so
follow
important.
through, I think, is really what, because so often throughout history we see, we'll take care of it, and then, you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is a really important. What's the best part about what you do?
Knowing, on two fronts, knowing that veterans have a place to lay their head at night. I have an amazing team of folks that are on the ground doing the work, and everyone is being of service. And so for me, my veteran experience has been completely different. My life experience has been different. So again, being of service, for me, I always tell my team, we don't have to do this work, we get to do this work. So I'm blessed to be in a position to sit across the desk and make sure that veterans are getting the services that they need.
Now, what other populations, maybe the groups of people that get turned away, do you guys help?
Yeah, so Volunteers of America, we like to say we will serve the folks that people won't, and so aside from our veterans, whether it's women, mothers that are suffering from substance use disorder and trying to reunify with their children, returning citizens that are coming out of incarceration that are looking to rebuild their lives, we will provide whatever necessary services to create stability within any population.
And we're going back to veterans now, but when we look at the veteran population here in Columbus, is there a large population that's unhoused here in Central Ohio? Because I always think Dayton with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, I think there's a big population down there. But Columbus, there's that group?
Yeah, there's a decent population. What I will say about Columbus is the network, the continuum of care here really works together. So we have a lot of amazing partners that we work alongside with to combat homelessness in the Columbus area. For us, our center is not ever at capacity, but it ebbs and flows. Life happens. every single day, right? And so while we may not be at capacity one day, we may see an influx and maybe we have 2 or 3 referrals the next day. The other piece that we're doing to ensure that veterans don't fall into homelessness, we have what we call as our homeless prevention program. So as I mentioned, if folks are at risk of being homeless, if they received an eviction notice, maybe they're 2 to 3 months behind on their rent, we will pay those arrears to make sure that they remain stably housed, and so support them until they're able to pay their rent on their own.
Do you have any other initiatives or events coming up later this summer, this year?
Not that I can think of off the top
Just
of
the
my
work
head.
continues.
Yes, the work continues.
The follow through continues.
Yeah.
I really, that is the missing piece in a lot of things. It's just that continued support.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a veteran, everyone
Just to make sure
everyone
someone checks
deserves
back
that.
in.
And even
Absolutely.
outside of the employment piece, I mean, even as it relates to housing, because sometimes living on your own can be difficult.
Absolutely.
And creating no stress. So
Oh, yeah.
you're paying rent, you're paying utilities, you're having a grocery shop. So some of those things that we take for granted that we do every single day, we're working to build capacity within the veterans so that they can sustain on their own.
All right. Lauren, thank you so much for coming
you.
down today.
Thanks
We
for doing the
appreciate it.
drive.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right